Welcome to Pimpy's Investment Chat, where we keep investment talk simple. And here's your host, Pimpy.
What is going on out there, peeps? All right, in case you have not noticed, it has been 2 days since September 17th. And why is that date so important? We'll cover that here in just a moment. But before we get started, do me a favor and hit that thumbs up button. If you're not a subscriber, please do so, because when you do, it helps out the channel, and I certainly do appreciate it. If you're thinking about buying gold and silver, now is the time to buy the shine. Go check out our friends over there at Money Metals Exchange. The link is down below in the description. If you're a first-time buyer and you spend more than $100, use promo code Pimpy, P-I-M-P-Y, and you will get a free half ounce of silver. So what are we talking about? What was September the 17th? As you guys are aware, there was a lot of people out there spreading information that due to some Jumanji numbers, that on September the 17th would be the day that the Iraqi Dinar would revalue. Do you remember that? And that's the thing about the Jumanji numbers. People talk about them and they use them all the time. Well, come to find out, unless you know what you're doing, it doesn't work now, does it? There's always an excuse why the numbers don't work. You see, when they have things that match up and they find it, then they can make a story behind it. But it's another when you try to predict the future. Obviously, it doesn't work. But I did find out something very interesting about my Jumanji numbers. What I found out about my channel is this. The numbers 36, 24, 36 equals brick house. And I thought to myself, what a winning hand. Thank goodness for Jumanji numbers. So the next time I want winning lotto numbers, I will just pull out my Jumanji numbers. All right, let's get into this. In the news, what is going on? I really didn't think a whole lot was going to happen today, but boy, I was wrong. There's quite a few articles. And then I thought to myself, no, I was right originally. And why is that? Because all the articles in here are doubled. So this first article is talking about some negotiations that are supposed to take place. According to this article, you would have thought that all parties involved had already negotiated and come up with an agreement. I can't help but think this just looks like another coalition of law or a coordinated framework propaganda piece, because it gives you the impression that they have chosen their candidates and they're going to be moving quickly once these candidates are voted into office, and that includes the president. And that Sauter had agreed to this. So here you go. It says right here, according to the news, and this is coming out from the news over there, according to accurate information, according to 2 secret sources, 1 secret handshake, and a decoder ring, we have gotten this information for you. So according to accurate information, the negotiation, okay, hold on. I got to stop laughing before I go forward. But here's the thing. I love how a lot of these news agencies try so hard to give credibility to the information that they're reporting to high-ranking officials inside the Pentagon or 2 unnamed sources very close to the president. According to accurate information, the negotiation delegation to meet with the leader of the Sauterist movement will start tomorrow or Wednesday, because the time is no longer enough and everyone is racing against time to hold parliament sessions before the 1st of next October. Remember, October the 10th will make it 1 year since elections. It is very expected in the face of the natural situation that confirms that in the past period, rumors abounded about changing the framework's candidate from Prime Minister al-Sunni. And today, in the presence of the leaders of the framework and al-Sunni, a statement was issued to adhere to it. And it is the most numerous blocs concerned with the nomination. The news continued with maybe a date has been set for the departure of the committee formed by the framework, democracy and sovereignty. The results with the dialogues may lead to the change of positions, but the framework statement confirmed adherence to the Sudanese, and the Sauterist movement did not reject it at all. So are they trying to say that Sauter supports al-Sunni as the prime minister? All dialogues by all leaders are continuing, and the talk about the tripartite technical committee has certainly been accepted by Sauter. And we read this position by opening the way to receive political parties including Al-Mari, it is a good turning point towards a solution and evidence of his welcome to dialogue. We hear this kind of stuff all the time, and then next thing you know, Sauter will respond going, "Stop lying. Stop lying. What did I tell you about the lying?" He added, "It is possible that there will be talk about 4 years for a future government if an agreement is reached between the political parties and the framework refuses to settle for the prime ministerial candidate. And the solution is through dialogue and negotiation. And now there is a very great understanding between all political parties and a conviction, perhaps even the current, despite the ambiguity of the positions." So, are they trying to say that Sauter's agreeing that this next government be informed by the coordinated framework? He is okaying that they stay in office for 4 years? Is that what we're hearing? It says the caretaker government cannot meet the wishes of the people, and Al-Qademi is looking hard to renew a second term by all means, as he should. And there is no one in the framework who supports Al-Qademi's survival, and al-Badi aspires to be a settlement candidate. No, he doesn't. He said it several times, "I am not interested." But then again, we'll see. All parties are heading towards calm and agree on 90% of resolving differences and problems. The remaining 10%, including the current and the October demonstration, will be just a memorial pause. I'm guessing that this news agency is the CNN of Iraq, is what I'm guessing. So take with that as you will. Urgent, the Democrat reveals very important information about the formation of the government and on unprecedented agreement since 2005. There's just a lot of fluff in this article, but there are some things I want to point out. It says the president of the Patriotic Union of Kurdistan, that's Talabani, told them that we agree on one candidate and we will participate in the parliament session with one candidate. Well, one group wants Sundi and the other one wants Al-Qademi. Do you think they actually agreed? I don't think so. So one of the things I brought up in one of the videos was whether or not Barzani and Talabani would betray Sauter. It appeared that they were heading that direction just out of the sake of self-preservation. But I knew if they're going to make any kind of agreement to work with the coordination framework, that they would have to have something in writing that guaranteed that Kurdistan would give back the oil. It says right here, regarding the most important Kurdish demands, it was pointed out without going into details that the file of oil, the budget, the Kurdish regions outside of the administration of the Kurdistan region, noting that the head of the party, Barzani, had emphasized the desire to participate and support the demands of other regions in Iraq. Yeah, see, oil. Man, all of that whole situation over there is so screwed up, it's not even funny. First, coming from Baghdad, they screwed over Kurdistan on the oil rights. Maliki and the coordinated framework had taken some of the words of the Constitution and perverted its meaning so that they could take the oil from Kurdistan. As luck would have it, the head of the Supreme Judiciary are allies of Maliki. It wasn't very hard to guess that the coordinated framework and Maliki would, through the Supreme Court, win the case against Kurdistan and end up stopping them from making oil sales. And you can see right here it says, he revealed that there is an agreement because this time it is different from previous times, saying that President Barzani decided not to participate in any government without a written agreement that includes ways to solve the current problems and administrative governance in Iraq. Yeah, and one of those problems is a major one. We're talking about the gas and oil law. And they're talking about a draft budget. Includes holding early elections, and there are efforts to persuade the Sauterist movement to join the agreement directly or implicitly and to agree to the so-called transitional stage will extend for a period of 1 year to 1.5 years and then hold early elections. So these people are trying to put in their agreement that once they form the government, they're agreeing to early election, but their idea of early election isn't for 1 to 1.5 years away. Do you know how much damage a government can do in such a short period of time? All you have to do is look at the Biden administration That's a perfect example. So, and then they also want, instead of it to be a transitional government, they want it to have the full powers of a government. And once that happens, then you can make all kinds of agreement you want. But once they start voting in Parliament, you can easily just override the agreement. I don't trust that, nor should anybody else. Sauter's not going to agree to wait 1 year to 1.5 years. That's for dang sure. Soon, a trio meeting with Al Sauter in Al Hana. Now, I haven't heard about these guys meeting in quite some time. This is a tripartite. The Victory Coalition, led by al-Badi, revealed today, Monday, a closed tripartite meeting with the leaders of the Sauterist movement in the Al Hana area in Najaf. The leader of the coalition told the news a tripartite political delegation comprising of Barzani, Amari, and Halabasi will visit Sauter. The tripartite meeting with the Al Sauter will discuss an attempt to reach an understanding and agreement with Sauter regarding the next government and the general political crisis in Iraq, especially since Al-Mari was authorized to negotiate with Sauter by all the forces in the coordinated framework. You can make all the agreements you want, and he can go over there to negotiate, but that doesn't mean you're going to come up with agreement. Look, the biggest issue is between Sauter and Maliki. And Sauter, in my opinion, is right on this. Why do we want to reinstall the corrupt government that everybody was protesting against in the first place? He's not going to make any kind of agreement with the coordinated framework that doesn't include making sure that Maliki is not part of the government. Ooh, wait, real quick, back to Jumanji. Here we go. Look at it. If you add these numbers up right here, this is how we're going to find out when the RV is. Hold on. That's 2050. If you take the 0 plus a 0, you get a 0. It's still 20 and 50. But if you take the 7 plus a 0, and there's no 7, but if you put the 5 with the 0 and the 2, that comes out to 7. And it just says right here, you need better practice with Jumanji. So as usual, all we're getting right now is a bunch of this and that in the news. You're not going to get Sauter to agree with anything that the coordinated framework wants to do without them first agreeing to exclude Maliki from government. Period. He's certainly not going to go for waiting of 1 year to 1.5 years for the next early election. That's just not going to happen. And the first article that we read, I don't know. They're like the CNN of Iraq, it looks like. So who knows how much hope is left on whether or not Al-Qademi stays. You hear one time that Al-Qademi might be able to continue. Then the other one is Saleh might be able to continue. But there's so much flip-flopping over there, you just can't get them to agree. Shout out to the Iraqi people. I don't know how you guys tolerate it, and I'm sure you guys are asking us the same question when it comes to this particular administration ourselves. But my hopes, thoughts, and prayers are with the Iraqi people because they are what matters the most. Anyways, that's it for now. You guys let me know what you think. Will they come up with an agreement? I don't think so. Anyways, that's it for now. I am out.